back to another episode of Bampa's Workshed. Today I'm going to be making a simple cutting board using exotic woods and some domestic woods. For this project I have white oak, ebony, padauk, tiger wood, rosewood, purple heart, and spalted cherry. First thing I need to do is to cut this board in half. Then I have to cut these boards down to a more manageable height. So let's get started. These boards down, I need to cut all these other boards to a height that's similar to this board. This is the smallest board, so all I did was place it in next to the saw blade to get an idea, and I'll use this measurement to cut all these boards down, and then we'll be ready to glue up. Step is to cut them to length, and as you can see, this board is the shortest one. It's almost 19 inches, so I'll probably cut the rest of these boards at around 19 inches or a little less. Take them to the planer, clean them up, get them ready for gluing, and then from gluing we will then move on to the thickness planer. But this is pretty much the configuration when it's done and all cleaned up. This is how it's going to look. All right, next step in the process is to clean up these edges, these ends. Once that's done, we'll take it over to the planer, take them all over to the planer, and get them ready to last step I got to do before I glue it up is to cut these down to somewhat more, equal sizes. This being the smallest length, just over 19 inches. I'm going to cut all these other boards down to 19.5 inches. And it'll make it that much easier to work with once I'm doing the glue ups and all the cleaning. Now we're ready for glue up. step is to clamp it all up. Line them up and clamp them up. That's that until tomorrow. Once this all dries, we'll clean up the glue and run it through the planer, get it ready for the router and straighten squaring it up. All right, now that it's all glued up, I'm going to clean up this edge and then this edge, and then we go up to the shed with the thickness planer and all the routers. So now I'm going to plane it down in the thickness planer, clean up all these rough edges. I've already done this side to get it nice and smooth. Might take a little while. They're a little out of whack, but got it all squared up, all planed down to a nice smooth surface. Next step is to do some sanding, some routing, get it ready for the finished product. All right, I've sanded this down to 220. Now we're going to round over all these edges on this router table. After that, we'll go to the other router table where we'll put a juice groove in it and some finger holes. step is to put the juice groove along the edges. In order to do that, I set up this table and I put marks on the board so I know where to drop the board down onto the bit so I don't run too far off and I know when to stop. All right, let's get going. The next step is to put these little rubber feet on the bottom. I have to pre-drill a hole and screw them in. And here we go. Alright, that's the bottom side. Now the only thing left to do is to give it a nice coat of oil. Let it soak up some oil and we'll be all set. Alright, the last step in the process is to oil this. So now I gotta branded. This is where you'll see the grain really pop out. Just a few more coats of oil over today and maybe tomorrow morning, and this will be ready to go. I'm going to put just a little more oil on this, and then we'll let it soak overnight. Might have to put another coat on in the morning. This wood is very dry and will suck up a lot of this oil. Put my brand on the back. We'll be ready to be all done. Hope you like this show.